The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, welcome back everyone to I can't say a KevCam night class, I guess, but SolidCAM Live for everyone. Do see a lot of people coming in, so I guess we will get the ball rolling without Mark today. So no neat movie intros. Sorry, we can do motorcycles or dirt bikes or anything like that, but all right, so what I wanted to cover today for you guys is the unused or untapped things or most underutilized features inside SolidCAM. And like I said, I told Mark and you guys last week that we couldn't just do a quick buzz over it. I wanted to kind of show you in detail the one favorite toolpath and why, and then one that is underutilized. And then if we have questions, we can address those as well. And then I do have some other stuff I'd like to show you guys too. So hopefully everybody can see my screen and we'll get rolling here. I am going to be doing an HSS operation right now. And to kind of go back to what we were talking about, morph between boundary curves is kind of my go-to, one of my favorites. But I do see a lot of, when we get tech calls from you guys, I do see it every once in a while where the linking needs to be fixed. So I want to show you guys that as one of the most underutilized ones there. So if I go, we'll go ahead and grab our drive surfaces real quick here. And I'll start on this side. And then we will end over here. Grab a ball and mill. Now, if I go ahead and save and calculate right at this point, here is what I see quite often, is we have some gaps along our surfaces, as well as some of the end extensions are coming up to a full retract, and which is completely fine. This isn't going to hurt it or do any worse for wear, but to eliminate all those retracts, I see this quite commonly that you guys can reduce all of those retracts and those movements going up and down. Oh, I got told my video's frozen. Are we updating now? Has everyone seen my screen move around? Okay, sorry about that. For some reason it got paused. Okay, so so you guys missed it. My drive surface is this entire surface up here, as well as my start curve is going to be this back line, and the edge curve is going to be our front line right here. So basically what I'm telling it to do is I want it to start over on this side and morph its way to over here. So like we're talking about, in this specific surface right now, we do have some gaps that are there. Now, obviously, we don't want to go all the way up to our clearance, move over and come back down just to waste the time. Now, we can go about this two different ways. We can go into our SolidWorks and fill those holes in using our surface feature, or we can just tell HSS to imagine that there was a surface there. So to do that, you're going to go right over to your links page. And with the links page, you can click on the links tab. Now this is where I'll pretty much go all the time if I have any kind of retracting going up and down right here. So we are doing a constant geometry, just doing a zigzag of going back and forth here. But we want to control those retracts. So up here is gaps along cuts. So if I have any gaps larger than 20% of the tool diameter, it is going to go up to the clearance. So we have a lot of options right here, but usually when I have a gap along there, I just want to kind of skim right over the top and pretend that it's not even there. So what I can do is click follow surface, go ahead and do a save and calculate, And now you can see that it has basically, HSS has basically filled in that entire hole for us. So I didn't have to do any additional geometry. I didn't have to modify my target model or my SolidWorks model at that point. It is seen it as just completely skipping right over it. Now we do have a rough cut right now. So let me put this back to clearance for a second. Like I said, I'm doing a very rough step over right now, but let's go ahead and fine tune this if we're going for a decent toolpath finish here of, we'll go 10 thou, which is going to be a RA of about 50. And if for those of you guys that didn't know, your step over right here will always show you your scallop down here. And this would equal out, your RA finish is between basically from cusp to cusp, and that will give you the RA measurement. So I can tell that I'm going to have a 50 RA finish here, which is going to be a very good finish. But now if I save and calculate, I can see that I have just a ton of lines going up and down. Like I said, this doesn't matter, but let's eliminate those. So like I was saying here is we go over to our gaps and do a follow surface, save and calculate. And like I said, skims right over it like it wasn't even there. So it completely fills in the hole for us, all the way up to the smallest hole right here. You guys can do a direct also, and it's just going to go directly to the other one. Just out of habit, I always do follow surface as well as our end line extensions. So you can see some of our toolpath is still going up to the clearance when it moves over to a new slice. So you can see that it's coming over and then it comes all the way up to the clearance. So now what we can do is come over here and then we can do a follow surface. But my favorite is, so right now it's going to come to the end, do a square 90 degree corner, and we get a little bit of machine jerking going on when we do that. So now instead of doing a follow surface, I can do a blend spline in there. And what it will do is do a little arc going around there. So that way it keeps the machine in constant motion, and we're just not taking one particular area and just doing a direct 90 degree hit on there. It's going to be going and doing a nice smooth rotation all the way around. Now if I open up my, and we can kind of see it's like a peak right now. If I open up my toolpath parameters to something a little bit larger, if we did like 20 thou, we should see a nice radius going all the way around. So we can see you got a nice radius working its way around all the way through there. Now on the other ones over here, that follows in the category of our other links here. So for our small moves, we can switch this over to a blend spline as well. And now you can see that we have nice arcs going all the way through. And this is a big one that I see quite a bit is, you know, you guys are running your machines. Obviously, we have to get parts kicked out as fast as possible to make money nowadays. So what I'll see is, you know, we're kicking along at a high feed rate, comes over here, does a complete stop, machine stops for that split second, moves over in Y, comes to a complete stop for a second, and then comes back in X. Well, now with these radiuses in here, we have that constant movement going all the way through, so which is real nice. Now, kind of along that same thing here is if we do a top-down view, you'll see that our toolpath is ending right at the exact surface edge. Now, you know, if you guys have a wall right here, obviously we don't want it to be gouging into our wall, but if we're trying to get that real nice smooth surface in there, what we can do is instead of coming right to that edge and then going around, we can actually extend that out. Now, another thing with this, you can do it two different ways. you guys can take that surface and offset that surface to extend it out, or what we can do is go to our toolpath parameters and come to the modify. And if you guys are not seeing these, the sorting or the modify tabs in there, make sure you have the advanced checkbox turned on. And we kind of went through this in the night class not too long ago, but we can actually extend our surface without having to do any surface modifications. So if I wanted to extend out, we'll just go all ways of 100th thou here. Okay. Now save and calculate. Now we have completely extended out our surface. Now you'll see that it's following the surface contour of it, where if you were to do a surface extension with HSM, you would actually see the toolpath go to the surface edge and then drop down. And that's not what we want here. We want just that flow to kind of keep going along all the way off the surface edge, like that surface just kept going all the way through for you guys. So that is a big one. Like I said, between the linking right here, following these, as well as the extensions for you guys. Now we get common asked, what are these numbers right here? Well, anything smaller than 20% is going to be considered as a small gap, so it will do a direct move. Anything larger than 20% of the tool is going to do a follow surface. Same thing down here. So it kind of give you a little description of what each one is doing there. So, okay. Any questions on the links as well as the surface extensions? Nothing? Oh, why not always follow surface? You definitely can. When it comes up to if we had done an extrude out of this instead of a cut, then I probably wouldn't want to follow that surface, because at that point, if I had an extrusion coming up, I would want to just completely skip over that and not even see it, and then come back with a different tool path to finish that up. But you can definitely set that up that way. Now, what you guys can do is, typically this is what I am constantly running. I'll always run follow surface from my gaps along cuts, as well as links between slices. I'll do a blend spline. So to do that, I'm going to show you guys this here. If we go add a new HSS operation. So right here, if we go to our links right now, you'll see that they're defaulted to direct, clearance, direct, and clearance. So let's change that up. If you guys would like to always have these, do it as follow surface, as well as a blend spline, as well as maybe you always wanted, well, I think that would be it, because when you do a surface extension, those variables can definitely change, and I don't want you guys getting messed up there. So now I haven't done anything other than come through and change my linking. So this is the only thing I've changed on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as a template, and we'll just say SE live. Hit OK. Oh, template failed. Okay, so now I have saved that template. So I should be able to come and add from a template, and we should see live in there, which we do. But now if I want to make that my default going forward, any HSS operation will automatically have that set for me. I can go into my settings and go to our templates, and we can go to our HSS tab here. and we can set it up for each one right here, or we can set it up for all. So on this particular one, we're doing morph between curves, and you can see my template has automatically popped up in there. For the other ones, I could set that up as well. So now if I hit OK and accept that, and I come in here and add a new HSS, and I go right to my link and links page, you will see that this has already been set up for you guys. So if this is something that you're always going through and changing, which in my particular case, I am 90% of the time I am coming here and changing this, you can set that up as a default template. So the way we set it up on this particular one is in the local settings right here. And that will just be for this part file only. Now, if we want this setting up globally, so any new CAM project that we create going forward, you can set that up. If we go to our settings here, and we go down to our templates and go to, oh, it's grayed out, but we do the same process right here. And the only reason it's grayed out is because I have a part open right now, but we could set that up right there as a global template. So going forward, any new CAM project that you create would automatically have that for you guys. All right, let's see. Oh, we do see some questions. Future. Oh, okay. Yep. Excellent. Any questions on adding the process templates or adding operation templates? Oh, do I have my webcam on? Nope, looks like I do. You guys don't want to see my ugly face. How do I turn this thing off? There, is my web camera off for you guys now? Or is it just paused? I gotta figure out how to get this. Well, I guess you guys will just have to deal with my ugly face for today. Sorry, guys. Okay. Well, didn't know I was being live. I guess we really are doing SolidCAM live today. All right. Yeah, the beard is getting fuller and fuller because the whole coronavirus, and the hair is getting longer and longer, as well as I'm just getting fatter and fatter. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to show you guys here is, let's go recent. I clicked on that one again. Tools, SolidCAM, recent. Now, when we were talking about favorite toolpath from Jake the other day, this is why I also like the HSS morph between boundary curves. So you can see we have a pretty complex, well, I shouldn't say complex, but a oddball kind of shape right here. Now, to get a real beautiful finish on this, what I'm going to do is come up here with a ball end mill, starting at the top and working my way down to the bottom. So what we want to do there is I want my toolpath to slowly morph into, you know, this curve down here versus doing a circular curve. And we could do keep consistently doing the circular curve going around, but we're going to do a lot of air cutting. And so it's more dependent on the surface finish that you guys are looking to see. So I have one of these. This is from the night class from a few years ago. So this path right here, I'm going to open this guy up. And our geometry, turn off our path. And our geometry is just this section right here, just for to show you guys. Now my start curve is going to be the top circle right here. And my end geometry is going to be our little up and down movement right here. So what that's going to do is it's going to calculate and combine it. So what we're doing is going to get a circular pattern working our way down, but then it's slowly going to morph into those areas for you. So we're really bouncing that tool up and down, going through there all the way across to get that real nice finish. And like I said, if you wanted to, you could set it up as, I think when I was doing this in the night class, I did a circle right here. So what I could do is click that circle, and if I wanted to maintain that circular going all the way down, then I could grab that circle there. So this really works well for that areas, but I think a big part of why I'm constantly using the morph between boundary curves is it seems like we always have those radiuses on the top of our parts, or a chamfer or anything like that. And one of my my go-tos is setting up, this, but as well as coming over to my sorting and switching it over to spiral. And with the spiral, let me turn on the path here. What we're doing is we're keeping that tool constantly moving all the way around. So like we were talking about with the linking before, keeping that tool, instead of doing that hard stop and then move over and then keep going again. This way we're doing a nice circular pattern, keeping the servos constantly moving in the machine to really get that ideal finish. So if we switch this over to one way here, so we can see right here, as it's moving down the part, it's just doing a straight line. So if you guys can follow my mouse here, it's coming around and then it's ending right here, coming to a stop and moving down in our Z and Y right here, and then starting up again. So we're going to get little witness marks all the way along through here. They're going to be very small, but you'll still have a little bit of a mark right there showing that. So that's why we can switch it over to, or what I like switching over to spiral, is because then we completely eliminate that from happening. So we got one lead in and we're just doing that consistent tool path all the way around. Oh boy, tons of questions. Oh, Brad, you're so funny. Brad said he can tell I'm nervous now because you guys are all watching me. Okay, how do I create a template, make a face operation, and machine only top face of a pocket? Are you looking just for a, oh, here, to be more specific, only, let's say, on the top of a wall? I'm having a hard time picturing. So are you looking that if you were just doing a circle, and if you had a big plate with a circle up on top and you just wanted to face mill just that specific circle? It's a big work piece. Okay, let's do it real quick. So we'll just create this on the fly here. See how fast I can draw. So let's say we have, let's do 10 inches by 10 inches, and we'll go ahead and do 0.5. All right, normal 2, and let's see, it's a big work piece, 5. Oh, we'll do those measurements. He's telling me it is 500 by 400. Edit. 500 millimeters by 400 millimeters. Now, one thing that I did forget to mention is you guys can hit this to get back out of it here, or you guys can hit this rebuild icon right here. But one thing that I've been told ever since I started SolidWorks in 2001 is instead of hitting this rebuild up here or hitting out of here, hit Control Q. And what Control Q will do is it goes through, I don't know the exact algorithm behind there, but what it will do is it does a more complex rebuild of that model. All right, and two top rates about 3 millimeters. So if I just draw a circle here, so is the inner circle 200, or I'm sorry, the inner circle 100 and the outer part of the circle is 200? Possibly. The pocket, one of the wall. Well, I can't get a good visualization of what you're looking for in the part. Tell you what, if you could email me the part and then we could go over that on Tuesday, or what I'll do right now is I'll show you guys how we would do this otherwise. Thanks, Brad. Okay, perfect. Okay. Oh, you guys got me all flustered that I'm looking at me. All right, so I'm gonna do a thin rib there, features, extrude, and we'll do selected contours of that one, 0.5. In my mind, this is what I was thinking it was gonna be, but maybe not. So let's save this. Save, and we will go to SolidCAM New Milling. All right, throw a quick coordinate system on there. Throw some stock. Okay, so we'll go to our 2.5D here. We'll do a facing operation, and I'm gonna do it by the reckon. So, like I said, without seeing the part, it's hard to see, or hard to tell what you guys are looking for. But from what it sounds like is you would just like to cut just the face mill of this ring only, and the best way to approach that. Like I said, I may be completely tweaking that very badly, but I'll show you guys that. So for our geometry, instead of doing the fully stock recognition, I'll show you the difference here. Grab a face mill. We'll just say it's a 2-inch shell mill here. And let's just see what our path looks like. So right now, it is going over the entire part. As you can see, we're just doing hatch because it sees that this entire area is all set up with stock right now. Well, let's contain that. So in our geometry, do new, and I can do it based off of profile. Now, one step when we get in here is, I even catch myself doing it, is when we go to click profile, face, or model, we still have to click the define button. So we're just letting them know what kind of geometry we want. And we'll accept that. And now what we can do is, instead of doing a hatch, so what I did is I contained it just to that specific area, but you know, maybe I'm looking for a little bit better of a finish or more of like a circular pattern. So I can switch it over to spiral at this point, and I can get a nice spiral pattern working its way from the outside in. Okay. In case the tool is not large enough to make strategy, that tool. Okay, I think we're going along the right road here. In case that the tool is not large enough to make strategy, center the tool. So I'm guessing what you're saying is, so if my tool is not big enough to take this in one cut to spiral in, I want to machine only. Okay, so you just want to do one circle. Okay, so to do that, don't use your face mill operation for that. What we are going to do is do a profile operation. So this is real cool. I'm glad we got going on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain just one circle right there. And we'll go ahead and grab that same face mill. Technology. What I'm going to do now is I can see that my cutter is right there. So what I can do is I can just reverse my chain real quick. But obviously I don't want it to be the edge of my cutter to be riding right on the edge of there, because we may have a little lip or you know, a little edge that we're going to have to come back into burr. So we want to center that cutter over there. So what you guys can do in your geometry is there's an option right here where it says modify offset. So one, we can offset the tool to go over, or if we want it in the exact center, what we can do is do take half of selected, and now I can click on this one right here, and it's automatically going to bump my tool over. So now instead of being tool side left, what I can come in here and do is do center. I'm going to have to leave it on left here, accept that, and do center. And I didn't take my offset. Bump it here. First, there we go. So now we can save and calculate. It's doing an arc in, arc off, but if we didn't want that that arc in, we can turn that to none, save and calculate. And now we're starting right on the center, just doing that circle only. Now, what you guys can do also, another way of going about this, more than one way to skin a cat, like they say, we can do set it up as a pocket operation. Do new geometry, and I'm just going to select that face, and I'll chain this one as well, and I'll mark chain is open, mark chain is open, grab that same tool, and for some reason I have offset saved as 50. And now we can come in here, and what it's doing is we're doing more than one pass just by default, but what we can do at this point is come to our technology and change up our overlap. So it would just do one pass only. And if we just want to do that as, you know, finish the floor only, so it's going to come in there and do that. So let's see, only that is the new great feature. It does not, yeah, take half. Can you use the wrap and the faces op? Yes, you so Edwin's asking if you guys can use the face mill operation when you're doing wrap geometry. So kind of like what we were talking about with Mark yesterday. When it's coming in there and you guys are wanting to rotate around, you can use the wrap function in there to do it. You will not be able to do it with the feature recognition. What I mean by the feature recognition is, let's go with geometry. This would be the stock base boundary or the feature recognition. So you would have to come in here and do a profile like you guys normally do there. So, holy cow, we're already past our time. Let's see. Okay. Thanks, Brad. You're great. Any other questions, guys? Don't see anything coming through. Where's Jake? Is Jake not here today? Man. Oh. Yeah. I was wondering where Jake was there. I need my guys to pick on. I was gonna have to start picking on Brad shortly here, but okay. So I'll stop yabbling here because obviously we went a little bit farther past here, but on Monday, there are some features I want to show you guys along with the cam tree view and how that is set up. Now, I do have some other stuff that I would like to show you guys so we can blow Mark out of the water and when he comes back, no, I'm just kidding. When he comes back, older man now. But I do have some stuff that I definitely want to show you guys for Monday. But if you guys do have any suggestions or ideas, I think a lot of you guys should have my email address, but if not, let me put it in the chat for you here. All right, so everybody should have it in the chat there. For those of you guys that are watching on YouTube, it will actually be down below in the description for you. But yeah, just let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns, or if you guys want to see something for Monday at 2 p.m. Central Time, sorry, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. But with that being said, thanks for joining the class. Love seeing all the attendance in here and love seeing all the comments. And sorry, on Monday, we'll get my ugly mug, so it's not showing on this camera thing. But other than that, have a great weekend, and we will see you guys next Tuesday. Or I'm sorry, on Monday. Bye-bye now.